Morning, everybody. I am Valerie Florio, the COVID-19 liaison for Sedgwick County Health Department. We are going to get started here just real quickly. An overview of what we're going to be talking about today is we do have a pre-test poll that is going on right now if you would like to take that. Johnson & Johnson and understanding the viral vector vaccines, the Pfizer vaccine, the Moderna vaccine, both of which are the mRNA vaccines, vaccine availability here in Sedgwick County, vaccinations to date, logistics, and then dispelling the myths about the COVID-19 vaccines. And then we'll also take a quick post-test at the very end. So right now, if you want to take a few more minutes and take that poll, and then we'll get started. And we are recording this webinar and we will be making it public. So let's go ahead and get started. We want to try to stay within an hour here for everyone that is participating. I'd like to thank you very much for joining us today to hear more about the vaccines and what we're doing here at Sedgwick County. We do have 3 vaccines right now that have received the EUA, the emergency use authorization here in the United States. We have the Johnson & Johnson, that is the 1 dose that's considered a viral vector vaccine. We have Moderna, and then we also have Pfizer, both of which are the mRNA vaccines. Johnson & Johnson was granted emergency use actually on February 27th of 2021. So that's the newest EUA that we have. It is the single dose vaccine. You do have to be 18 years of age or older to receive that vaccine. It is considered to be very effective, 100% effective against death, and 85% effective in preventing severe or critical COVID-19 disease at least 28 days after the vaccination. So you need to give it a couple of weeks before you get the full effect. And just real quickly, if you do need to ask a question, please do that in the Q&A section, and we will answer the questions as we can, or at the very end, we'll either answer them live or we'll type in an answer for you. So just kind of talking about Johnson & Johnson and understanding what the viral vector vaccine is. It is considered a modified version of a different virus that serves as a vector to transport the instructions into a human cell that causes an immune response. Our antibodies produce during the immune response, and then it's the antibodies that help us respond to the real virus into the future. It actually poses no threat of causing illness in humans because it has been modified, or in some cases because the type of virus used as a vector cannot cause disease in humans. It does have a shorter manufacturing time due to the standardized laboratory development with readily available materials. The genetic material that's used by the viral vector, it does not integrate into a person's DNA. That's a myth that's out there right now. Just want to assure everyone that does not occur. That's not something that you need to worry about. It has been well studied. This is a vaccine that was actually used to respond to recent Ebola outbreaks. Now the mRNA vaccine, Pfizer in particular, this vaccine was actually granted the EUA by the Federal Drug Administration on December 11th of 2020. It is a 2-dose series. This particular vaccine has to be administered 21 days apart. So you get your first vaccine, and then 21 days or later, you can get your second vaccine. Second dose is recommended to come from the same manufacturer. So if you got Pfizer the first time, it's recommended you get Pfizer the second time. This vaccine is actually approved now for 12 years of age or older. And it is considered to be 95% effective after the second dose. So you are not considered fully vaccinated until you receive both of your doses. So you do want to make sure even if you have some side effects with your first one, you do want to make sure that you continue with your second one to get the full vaccination. Moderna was granted EUA on December 18th of 2020. It is also a 2-dose series. This one, you get your first dose, and then you need to come back 28 days or later for the second. Same thing, if you got Moderna the first time, it's recommended that you get Moderna the second time. This particular vaccine, you need to be 18 years of age or older, and it is considered to be 94.1% effective after the second dose. So you aren't considered to be fully vaccinated again until you receive both doses. So when we talk about the mRNA vaccine, this particular vaccine is going to give our bodies, or our cells rather, instructions to make a spike protein. And then it's a spike protein that triggers the immune response inside our bodies, which then in turn produces the antibodies. And it's the antibodies that help us respond to the virus in the future if we become in contact with COVID-19. So just a few notes on the mRNA vaccine. They are made with non-infectious elements. It does not contain the SARS virus, and it will not give you COVID-19. That's another myth that's out there. I just want to assure you that that is not true, and that is not the case. Genetic material is delivered by the viral vector, and it does not integrate into your DNA. They are also a well-known technology. It's not anything new. Scientists have been working on this and studying them for decades. So let's talk a little bit about the Sedgwick County Health Department, what we're doing here at our level. We received the vaccine from the Kansas Department of Health and Environment, and right now we're dispensing it at 223 South Main. We consider that our mega site. That is the former downtown library building. It's just very interesting how that all came about. We did have vaccine distribution at Interest Bank Arena for a while, and we moved it to the library. You think about what the former library looked like. It looks fantastic now. It's got new carpeting. I really see that as being something that people can use as an event venue down into the future. It just looks wonderful. So you can go and you can get the vaccine at 223 South Main. It is walk-in, or you can schedule an appointment. You could do either or. We do have the drive-through clinic right now at 777 East Waterman. That is located actually right by Interest Bank Arena. If you go down Waterman and you pass Interest Bank Arena, go underneath that bridge. A little bit to the right, you're going to see the distribution site there. And again, that is, I was about to say walk-in, but it's drive-in rather, or you can make an appointment for that as well. We are planning to close that after June 24th because the usage of that distribution site there has not been as used as much as it had been in the past. It was originally created when we opened up our vaccines to the 65+ group. So that 65+ group, there were a lot of people in that group that had mobility issues. And then we also have people that are recommended to not go to a large vaccination site from their physicians. So it's at the physician's discretion on that. So we are planning to close it just because the usage of it has fallen, or the need for it has fallen. It is possible that the need could increase again at some point, and that would be something that we would look at potentially into the future. Partner clinics and mobile clinics, that's something that is new within the past couple of months. We can go to different businesses and churches and events. Like for example, we'll be doing vaccinations at the Wichita Open soon. What we're really trying to do is get out there in the neighborhoods and convince those people to get vaccinated they're kind of in the middle, that are still trying to decide if they want to get the vaccine. We're trying to make that easier for them to make that decision. They may look over and say, oh, well, there's a vaccination site right now. I'll just go on over and go ahead and get my vaccine. So that's what we're hoping for. And we're just trying to be more convenient and One of the things about the mobile clinics is we send out, we do all the vaccinations. We have our staff there as well. The partner clinics, we assist our partners. So for example, our Black Nurses Association has been instrumental in helping us do a lot of our partner clinics. There are some other people that have helped with that as well, but we send support staff to help with that. And we also distribute vaccine to pharmacies, medical clinics, anybody that's registered as a vaccine provider for the Kansas Department of Health and Environment will be able to do that. So to date, as of yesterday, we have administered 224,175 doses of vaccines. So that's a lot of vaccine. And like I said, that's just for what the Sedgwick County Health Department has done. So we talked about the benefits of the vaccination. You know, fully vaccinated people do not need to wear a mask. It's really a good thing. If fully vaccinated, you do not need to quarantine and get tested if you're exposed to COVID-19. Now that is as long as you don't develop symptoms. If you develop symptoms, then it's a different story. You can begin doing more daily activities with less fear. You don't have to worry so much about coming in contact with the virus. And fully vaccinated persons are less likely to get seriously ill or to get potentially have to go to the hospital because of serious disease. You're considered fully vaccinated after 2 weeks of receiving J&J or second dose of Moderna or Pfizer. So now let's get into the myths a little bit, because there are a lot of myths that are out there about COVID-19 and the vaccination. First one that we hear a lot is that the vaccine is going to give me COVID-19. So we talked about that a little bit earlier. None of the COVID vaccines are going to give you COVID-19. None that are currently in development or in use in the United States contain the live virus that causes COVID-19. So that's not something that you need to worry about. We hear that a lot with flu as well. Flu also doesn't contain, you know, the flu virus. A lot of people think that they get the flu because they feel a little bit nauseous, and it's just a little bit of a side effect to the vaccination. The same thing with this. Some people will get serious side effects that last 2 or 3 days. Most of the side effects overall have been very, very mild. A lot of people reporting arm soreness, a little bit of nausea, things like that. All things that you can manage and still go to work and function in your daily life. Vaccine will make me sick. I guess we kind of talked about that one a little bit already, but same thing, you know, just to kind of reiterate, most of the side effects are going to be very, very mild, and they're going to go away within 2 days. I know when I received the Moderna vaccine, I actually got side effects the first dose, and I had a little bit of nausea and definitely the arm soreness, but after 3 or 4 days, I was fine. And the next myth, the vaccine was rushed and is therefore not safe. Vaccines were actually put through very rigorous clinical trials involving tens of thousands of volunteers that were participating in part of that. In the United States, it was very closely scrutinized by the FDA, as well as an independent panel of vaccine experts, and it was deemed safe and effective for emergency use. So you don't have to worry about it being unsafe. mRNA vaccines alter your DNA. We talked about that one a little bit earlier. That's not true. So you don't have to worry about that, definitely. COVID-19 vaccines cause infertility. There's no evidence that's out there to suggest that that's the case. The CDC does recommend, which we recommend before getting the vaccine, that you consult with your physician, regardless of whether or not you're considering becoming pregnant. But if you are considering becoming pregnant, we do recommend that you consult with a medical provider before getting the COVID-19 vaccine. You don't need to get the vaccine if you've had COVID-19. We actually still recommend that you get the COVID-19 vaccine. Experts, including the CDC, say it is appropriate for a person to get the vaccine to ensure that they are fully protected. You just don't know, the experts don't know right now how long you're protected from the virus. If you've gotten the virus, we just don't know how long the immunity is on that. So it's just recommended that you continue to get the vaccine. We don't know what's in the vaccines. That's not true. All of the ingredients are posted on the EUAs on the website for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC. Pfizer and Moderna vaccines both contain mRNA, which are lipids / fats that deliver the mRNA into the cells. And there's a few other common ingredients that maintain the stability of the vaccine. But again, it's out there. Anybody can review the ingredients and see what's in there. And again, that's something that you could talk to your doctor about, your physician, if you have any questions about what the vaccines do contain. Since the COVID-19 survival rate is so high, I don't need a vaccine. There's just simply no way to know how your body is going to react to the virus. There's so much that's out there that is known, but there's so much that's out there that isn't known. We're learning more and more about this virus every day. So both COVID-19 vaccines are more than 94% effective at preventing serious illness with minimal side effects. So widespread vaccination is still important to help us in this pandemic with COVID-19. Pandemic will be over soon because we have vaccines now. Well, we're getting closer, but that's still not the case. The vaccines do help curb the spread of the virus, but ending the actual pandemic is going to take a lot of time. We anticipate that we need to get to about 70% of the population will need to have been vaccinated or infected with the actual disease for it to be no longer spreadable. So I believe that Kansas is at about 50% or getting there. So we have a long ways to go. So we went through all of that very, very quickly. So if we do have any questions, again, please type those into the Q&A for us and we'll answer those for you. And we do have a quick post test. So let me post that for you. Hopefully you've learned something today. And like I said, if you have any questions, please type those in for us or ask them live and we'll answer those for you. Someone has asked us whether or not the vaccines are effective against the variants. They are effective against the variants. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine is considered to be very, very effective against the variants. Again, that's something that they're looking at every time there's a new variant. They look at different things that they could potentially change or upgrade on the vaccines. Right now, researchers and physicians are still looking at whether or not this will be something that you will need to get annually, like a booster. We still don't know that yet, but there's potential for that as well. Any other questions? Well, I'd like to thank you all again for being here. We will post this online, so it will be available for anybody that would like to view it. The other thing I would like to say is that we are doing another webinar next Tuesday, or a week from today rather, that will be on quarantine and isolation and updating you on what's going on in that area, as well as some healthy behaviors and different things that we can do to make sure that we're not spreading the virus in the community. And I guess what I would leave you with too is just recommend that you all get out there and get vaccinated. If you have any questions, let us know anytime. We're happy to answer any of your questions. So thank you again for joining us, and you all have a great day.